Happy Thursday, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell, coming to you live on Memorex on this beautiful Thursday. It says it's about 60 degrees out here, but with the sun and everything, feels a little warmer, bright, sunny. Coming to you from the default location, default route on this Steeler game day. Pittsburgh Steelers, who are currently 5-1, 5 wins, 1 loss. Tied for the best record in the league because everybody has lost at least 1 game. It's nice to be 5-1. And it definitely means something to be 5-1. But it's way too early in the season to tell. It's way too early to see who's going to emerge as the dominant team or most capable team when the playoff tournament starts. And that's when it happens. And your position in the tournament, in the playoffs, is determined how good you're doing during the regular season. And that really helps. Should the Steelers win the division, that means they're guaranteed a home playoff game. Which kind of doesn't matter to the Steelers, who have been one and done, which means they go into the playoffs, they make the playoffs, they limp into the playoffs, however, and they get blown out. I mean, literally blown out. I mean, one time I went to the game, Jacksonville game in Pittsburgh, first round of playoffs, and it was just a weird day. It was just a weird day the way I handled it. I got there late. Now, can you imagine? I missed her at the airport gate. I missed her at the stadium when the doors open, 2 hours before kickoff. And I get there late. By the time I get there, like 3/4 of the way through the first quarter, it was already 21-0. I was like, oh God. And I got there, had to find parking and this and that. And that was the last time that happened. Let's just say that will more than likely be the last time that happens. Going to Pittsburgh, get up there, get early. I'm like riding around doing stuff before I even left Youngstown. I'm like, oh, I got time. And I'm just riding around doing stuff. I'm like, what the heck? And got there late. And should we win today, we'd have a commanding lead on our division, with the other teams flailing right now, having injury problems and structural problems. And other teams are having serious problems. Whereas it seems we've crossed over to another level of footballing in Pittsburgh. It's kind of not your typical Steeler team, hard-nosed, whatever. There's a little bit more strategy, a little bit more complex schemes. It's become much more cerebral. You just can't line up and run over people anymore. You got to outsmart them. And then on the other side of the ball, not only do you got players that are physically equal to you, just as tough, just as practiced, they have coordinators, offensive and defense coordinators, who scheme up complex, brilliant plays and brilliant actions that just, deceive you. They can run a play action, whatever, to where they can have the best defensive player in the league just confused, standing there not know where to go, or just out of place. You zone block one way, and the natural tendency is for the defense to follow that, and you come back and like a misdirection. come back and go the other way. And it seems like Pittsburgh, and I've said it for years, needs to engage in that more. Instead of Tomlin saying, we got to practice harder, we got to hit harder, we got to tackle better. No. There's some intellect involved. And I'm seeing much more of that in Pittsburgh, especially with Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God. Aaron Rodgers is not your typical Pittsburgh Steeler. There's no doubt about that. He's just typically not your Pittsburgh Steeler. Just imagine, and one of the main contrasts is Ben Roethlisberger, who may be the greatest Steeler quarterback ever. Now he may be the greatest, but he may not be the best. Aaron Rodgers may be the best pure quarterback the Steelers have had. Because he's intellectual, he knows the game, he has confidence, let alone his 4 MVPs. I mean, he's Hall of Famer. Now, I guess he would be the greatest quarterback we ever had, but not the greatest Steeler quarterback we ever had. He did a lot of his work at Green Bay. And just to see the difference between him and Roethlisberger in press conferences and whatnot, it's just that Mr. Rodgers always has that look on his face like, I'm smarter than you. And I'll prove it. Ask me something. I dare you. You know, and he'll just flippantly make remarks. Whereas Ben Roethlisberger seemed like everything he said was scripted all the time. And a lot of it was. You know, a lot of it was the same old, it's a team game. We play harder. Give it to the defense, do this, you know, deflecting. The admiration is thrown at him. Humble, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas even the look on Aaron Rodgers' face lets you know, like, I know who I am, what I've done. You know, he comes up to the line of scrimmage, the way he controls the offense, plays calls, puts people in the right position, sees the game. Whereas Roethlisberger he was just a beast. He was just, you know, so strong and powerful, and he had a team around him that, you know, they could win just by overpowering her. And that was even back then, maybe Roethlisberger era. But also think about Roethlisberger era and Tomlin and the Steelers. We had one of the best offenses in the league for several years with Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Roethlisberger, and we had a hell of a defense. But we didn't win nothing. We didn't win no championship, you know. And that can be said for something about Tomlin's legacy, to have a team that good and then not win nothing, you know. Because they just don't get to that level, you know. Because they were just more, you know, tough guy. That's my thing, not as intellectual, not as complex, not as strategy, you know. Just go out there, hand the ball, and you block your man, and we win the game. You win, run hard, block hard. No, you gotta be much more cerebral than that. And Aaron Rodgers comes up to the line. You just see it. You just see him just in command, and confident, can throw the ball, been there, done that before. It's a welcome change for me. I've been looking for it for years. I've been looking for it for years. There's many a time where Pittsburgh comes up the line, I can tell you what play they're gonna run. You just know what they're gonna do. Hand the ball off, screenplay, pitch play. You just knew it was the same basic thing. And many a time, very more than once, people have said we knew what they were going to do. Very, very more than once. People said we already know what Pittsburgh going to do. So if they already know, if the defense already know, I don't give a damn how good you execute the play, it's not going to be successful. But now we got an offensive coordinator who seems to be much more innovative than the last ones we had, and seems to be allowed to or opened up to a more complex offense, more complicated schemes, et cetera, et cetera. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've been a fan since 1971, officially through the 71 season. I followed their every game. That season ended with the Immaculate Reception, or it might have been 72 season, I forget which one. That's ended with the Immaculate Reception, and that just sealed my heart and the deal. Never once did I waver from being a Steelers fan since then. Then after that, they went on to win 4 Super Bowls. So I didn't become a fan when they was winning Super Bowls. I became a fan after Kansas City lost to Miami in what was the longest NFL game in history, winning overtime. And that broke my heart. It broke my heart so bad I couldn't go back to Kansas City. I just couldn't be a Kansas City fan. Because that hurt. The Steelers, my father said, I'm gonna get a house to him. I gotta get a team this year, I gotta get a team. He said, well, it looks like the Steelers gonna be pretty good. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch them. Because they came on TV every week. And, it snowballed into something. And here I am, 54, 53 years later, still following that team. And you know what's cool too, or kind of funny or cool or whatever you want to call it? I've been thinking about retirement a lot. Well, because I don't know if I'm ready or not, because I keep hearing more and more publicly, people are saying, it's not easy. People are telling me, it's not easy, not working, not having nothing to do. It's not easy. One person said simply, you got to get used to it. My ex-wife said she lasted from November to April. Then she went on and got something. So that has been on my mind. And it may just come down simply to, I just don't want to do this no more. And it's going to come a time where my body and my mind, just quote unquote won't be able to do it anymore. Just basically, I'm probably saying, they just won't be able to do it. I can't make myself go in there and do this. And it's cool. I just got to be prepared for it. So I ran the numbers yesterday. Like I, do sometimes. Go to the SSA website, Social Security Administration website, look at the numbers, look at my savings, my retirement 401ks and IRAs and all that stuff. Man, the bottom line, it comes down, I got to at least wait till I'm 65. First, I was going to go to 70. If I wait till I'm 70, delayed retirement, I'll get like $1,500 more a month, something like that. Some like high number. From 67 to 70, that number jumps dramatically. And it's significant. It's significant. So, that's a consideration. There's also something called a tax torpedo, where if you go over a certain amount of income, your Social Security and your Medicare is taxed. So you got to like watch that too. Where you go over like a certain threshold and the tax jumps greatly. Because with my savings, or IRAs and 401ks and all that, I could, live maybe 25 years just off that without any income. And then I saw where, at 65, I'd get like $2,500 or something like that from Social Security, $2,500 a month. And that'd greatly help. Because right now, I did all the numbers, and they're somewhat inflated. 4,300, 4,322 is what I need to basically live off. That's no food, no gas in the car, no anything. 4,322 a month. And that is with like maybe, that's with an $1,800, $1,900 rent and $1,900. Wait a minute, how's that even possible? 1918. Damn, most of my money is going to rent and caregiving for my mother. If I move to Pittsburgh, and eventually my caregiving expense will go away. That number should come down from 3,800 to 1,000. That number should drop like $2,800. And $1,900 to come off. And my rent, because I'll probably just get an apartment. Even though might buy something back there, I don't know. But with the interest rates now, I'd rather pay rent. With the interest rates, I'd rather pay rent and make it disposable. Here, we're done. Instead of, it's 7% interest rate. Freaking $300,000 house costs you $1,200 a month. $1,700 a month. When you say, well, you might as well pay that and retain the equity or property you own it, blah, blah, blah. But if I can get me an apartment, in a fairly decent part of town, hell, I can get an apartment, but what I'm paying now, I can get an apartment downtown Pittsburgh. Oh, did I tell the story right? Did I tell the story right? The idea of me retiring in Pittsburgh, I never thought, it never hit me. It was, I was trying to maximize, I guess. Apartment in Youngstown, $800, $700, whatever. You get a house for like, some ridiculous amount. But it's location. I don't think I don't want to say survive, or I don't think I'd be happy in Youngstown. Not enough people, not enough energy, not enough going on. You call it distraction, call it what you want. But in the end, not only that, the games, I can go to the games in Pittsburgh. There's an international airport there. There's people, there's energy, there's diversity, more culture. And I could live in a suburb or something. I could sit close to an international airport. I could fly back to LA if I need to. Go see the maggots or whatever. 5-6 hour drive to DC. Get on a plane in New York in like an hour. Et cetera, et cetera. Be close to the South. Even get down to Atlanta. There's a lot more going on in that area. Philadelphia and all that. Detroit, Chicago. So that became very interesting to me when I was done about that. I didn't really, think about it. Then I thought about it yesterday. I was like, oh, this is kind of good, this thing. This Pittsburgh idea. And so I started looking in the apartments and real estate and this and that. I was like, oh. And it's an hour from Youngstown, which is perfectly not too close. It's perfect. It's where people just, I'm sure they will. People just can't pop up at your house. First, and that's only if you tell them where you live. That's first if you tell family where you live. An hour drive for them, that's considerable. Out here, ain't nothing. For an hour, 20 minutes sometimes. So that's nothing. I'm used to driving like that. Get my car out there, but I don't have a car payment. I was thinking I gotta get my car rust proof. And I wonder if I need snow tires. When I need snow tires and take the car to get rust proof. Probably gotta get a better battery because of cold cranking amps. It gets cold back there and your car won't start. Out here I got the cheapest battery because I'm not worried about cold cranking amps. It don't never get below, 60 or 50 barely out here. So I'm kind of excited about that. I retire at 65. That's a year and a half away, a year and 8 months or something like that. Maybe a year and 9 months. But people, the thing they got and I said this a long time, I said, I'm not ready to retire, I'm too lazy. I'm not ready to retire, Then I got an idea that, well, maybe once you retire and you don't have the burden of energy knowing you got to go to work, or you don't have that physical expense of working, that energy could be used for Jeffery TV stuff. And what I tell myself and what I think I believe is that I just want to work on Jeffery TV stuff. I don't want to work for nobody else. I don't want to find something interesting to do. I just want to work on Jeffery TV stuff. And I will also say that the job that I have now, I feel is prestigious, and it fills a psychological part of me, as far as esteem and ego or whatever, who I think I am. I'm very proud of the job I got. Like I said, I think it's prestigious. I brag about it every chance I get. I even love going downtown Los Angeles, being that skyscraper, even though we only on the 3rd floor. Just to mix it up with suits and, people like that, talking to lawyers who make millions of dollars a year, probably. Dealing with folks, at that high level. I'm very proud of that. That's definitely a part of me. That is definitely a part of me when I walk in the room. I work for the 2nd largest law firm on the planet, God damn it. And I'm sure people probably can see and smell it on me. Damn, he's so arrogant. He's so confident. And something like that plays into it. Of course, all the funk stuff. How much involved in funk I am. And, just being a part of that community. Having been part of the atheist community. And just becoming who I am. Not just accepting or embracing who I am, but fully growing into who and what I am. And I don't think there's nothing in this universe greater than being Jeffery. Nothing. Consciousness, conscious awareness, what it's like to be Jeffery. I'm out here walking, my weight is down. Like 195 today, I got to kind of back down after the 2 weeks in Ohio and Frontiers ball and eating and just being ridiculous eating. Still am. Still having late night snacks. Well, last couple of days. Gotta wean myself off of that. I don't even have salad right now. I don't even have salad at home. I got nothing in the refrigerator. Yesterday, I bought a $15 salad, $17 salad from Sweet Green. It was good, buffalo chicken, it was good, it was okay. What was good about it was the blue cheese. That was good about it. And they kind of clumped it in there. They didn't like mix it all up. And that's what I remember was so good. It was some of the most chunky, sharp, pungent blue cheese. Oh my God, this blue cheese was kicking. And with the buffalo chicken and stuff, I don't think they made my salad right. I think the dude just kind of threw it together. Because the one I had before was euphoric. The one I had before just took me to a different place. It was so good. But I tried it and it was okay. So today I may Instacart my groceries and get the salads and this and that. I got potato chips and I think I got sweets, at least for the night. I need mouthwash too. I like to hit the mouthwash every now and then, even though I don't brush my teeth nowhere near as much as I should, and I know it. I need to hit the mouthwash, get some mouthwash. I get that from Walmart. Should make the run to Walmart after work. Oh, Steeler game day today. So we'll see how that works. Steeler game day today. I work till 7:50. That's right about when the game is over. But I didn't do my dev time on Tuesday. Totally just forgot and missed it. So I'm gonna take my lunch at 5, like I usually do. Take my lunch at 5 to 5:30, basically 4:59 to 5:29. Then I'll come back. I'll watch the game on my phone while I'm walking. Then I'll come back. I'll get back in and put the game on for a while, see how, the calls are going or whatever. Then I'll take my dev time. I didn't take my dev time, so that's an hour. That might get me to 6:30 or something. Something like that. And then I take a break, 15-minute break, do my walk. See, so basically, I'm running an hour and 45 minutes out of the queue, which isn't right. I would say isn't right, to put it crudely. But to relay the idea, it's not right. I shouldn't do that. But if I was to work 6 hours and take 1.5, get off at 6, and watch the game, So I want to save the time, number one. I'll hope to work through it. Hopefully it's a game that Steelers just come out and do their thing, and I can just have it on in the background and watch and not be too distracted by it because we're up like 34-0 or something, which never happens. Pittsburgh doesn't play that way. It's almost like it's Mike Tomlin's credo not to beat a team too badly. It's ridiculous. Or take your foot off the gas as soon as you get up 14 points. But he calls it, and a lot of people remind him that's living in your fears. Is that the SL? 230 SL, wow. I wanted one of them Mercedes. That was my car, convertible. 500 SL or XL, whatever. 300 was a little smaller. That's like a 230 something. Tiny. Maybe I'll put it on camera when I walk back. That was my dream car. Mercedes XL, love that convertible. But I went in and got a Chrysler LeBaron convertible. It was cool for the first few years, using a convertible. Then, towards the end, if we had a while, I never took the convertible off. Maybe 2-3 times a year. Because a lot of people may not realize is that the sun, your roof blocks the sun. And it gets so sunny and hot out here from the sun that it's not so much the cold or the wind that gets you, it's the sun baking down on you. Even in my sunroof, moonroof, I keep it closed most of the time because of the sun. The other day I opened it, it was cool in the car and outside, and that sun felt good. But, well, at least I think you do. And the sun felt good. I remember when I bought that damn car, I was supposed to be at work, and I was out doing something. And I stopped and said, let me see what I had one car I was gonna trade in. It was about time it was getting old. I said, let me just stop here and talk to these people. These people talked me into buying a new car, convertible LeBaron. I came back to work, said, look, showed Jackie, who was my quote unquote girlfriend at that time. I guess we was boyfriend, girlfriend. I had so many relationships where we was like boyfriend, girlfriend, but not officially or something. I would say it was open. Like, I guess you could definitely say it was an open relationship where I was more traditional and didn't believe that or understand it or whatever. But we was what we was. We was close. We was really close. Everybody knew, we was kicking it, I guess you could say. Tough. Came back, showed her. She didn't seem too happy about it. I mean, it was something rubbing her weird about the whole thing. Maybe because she realized that I was growing out of her class or her demographic. I was growing out of that. I was becoming more and more, like where I was like, not outgrowing her, but maybe outgrowing the situation or whatever. Because more than once, people have seen me and, commented that, yeah, you ain't gonna be here too long. You gonna move on to something else. You gonna have your own. They could see that. Where I was busy building it and thinking about it and developing it, and couldn't really see how blatant it was that I wanted more, or that I was gonna get more, or that I had something special that may or may not be in demand on its own. And more than once, it was I was told or let known that, yeah, you got an agenda. And I guess I might have, but I didn't quite, realize that I did. To the degree that I did, I should say. Now I'm just full on accepting it, taking it on. And my every waking moment pretty much considers what I'm gonna do next, or how this or how that. is going to help me accomplish my goal. And I accepted it, or I accepted it knowing it, and acknowledged my goal is to build Jeffery TV into something. Not even sure what. A couple of times people ask me, well, are you trying to do something you can't even say what it is? I remember a long time ago I took a small business class. They said, you got to define the points. You got to have metrics and points and goals. You just can't say, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to sell this or create that or do that. No, you got to have points, solid goals and solid, what's that, met point? Checkpoints or whatever that you need to accomplish, is to be defined. Not so much, oh, well, I'll just keep doing this until something happens. Even though there was some of that. There definitely was some of that in the fact of just kind of going with the flow, doing what felt comfortable, doing what I want to do, and then seeing what it turns into. And then from there, develop checkpoints to where I'll say, by this time I want to build this time I want to build that. Or I want to get to this point, get to that point. Damn, he's cussing. You hear him cussing and stuff? He's mad because the guy parked there. He's kind of grumpy. And he's gone the fuck. Parked on the wrong side of the street and this and that and this and that. And I looked at him and I saw him walking with a stick and sandals with bare feet showing. I thought he wasn't like that. I thought he was going to be like hippie-ish. Like, oh, go ahead, my brother. And no, he was like, fuckers, what the fuck is this? So that's what we are today. And the Steelers play November 9th in Los Angeles. Ticket prices are ridiculous. Ticket prices are so ridiculous, I might miss the game. I might not go. That's how ridiculous the prices are. Of course, for where I want to sit. Ticket prices are like ridiculous. I talked to my boy Rick, I even said it out loud. Save that money for playoff tickets. Flying here, flying there, getting playoff tickets. That's they talking. Woo, 12, 1300. Because I got to sit 50-yard line club. I ain't got to, but those are the best seats. And then they got this VIP club at SoFi, the Raider Stadium, where you get free food and free this, free that. And you can go inside, nice little area, just and free food and this and that. And you can go, if you get one VIP level, you can go down to field level and actually be right behind the bench. You can go down there and hang out for a little while, take pictures or whatever. So, it's definitely something there. And I think I might just talk myself into spending $1,300 goddamn dollars for a ticket. Talking about the amenities and free food, but free food ain't gonna come to no $100. Free food in MetLife Stadium, first game of the season, can't afford $40. Drink and stuff I got can't afford $40. I think I got wings and French fries or whatever. And drink. Which wasn't bad. Parking. Oh, it wasn't no parking. That's right. I didn't get a car. In fact, the only thing I had with me was a little clear bag, which is 12 by 12. They're not even big as a book bag. The only thing I bought with me. Wore the same clothes. I think I bought a pair of underwear, one pair of underwear, and one pair of socks. Other than that, nothing but a jacket, maybe some long sleeves, and that was it. Didn't even myself. Didn't even bring my selfie stick because they ain't allowed to take them in the stadium. So every place, pretty much, and I took an Uber. I was gonna walk to the stadium, but as soon as you get there, a big sign in the hotel, it's illegal to walk to the stadium. It's illegal and dangerous. And he was telling me that. Then I asked him his next question. I said, would people do it? Yeah. He's like, yes, people do it all the time. Talking about sending a mixed message. He was Indian or something. You know, this may have been a language or culture, just the way he answered the question. It wasn't a softening of the, oh yeah, well, you know, it was like, don't do it. Yeah, people do it all the time. It was just so stark, the way the message, I think, the way I interpret the message he was trying to send, just changed so quick that it was startling. Then I got out there and it was raining a little bit, it was a little drizzle. So I said, let me see how much goddamn Lyft costs. Lyft was like $12, so I was like, fuck. I Lyft to take me over there. Asked the Lyft driver a bunch of questions. Well, when I get out, because as soon as I get over, you know, I hang around for a little bit, and I go right to the airport. I checked out the hotel, let's go right to the airport. So I got everything on me. It was cool. Pittsburgh won, so I got to hang out at the mall. American Dream Mall or something. Most beautiful mall I ever saw. There was Steelers fans all over the place. Just good energy. You know, it was good. And it's got an Uber. They said there's public transit to the airport too. I could have really did that, but I was just like, I'm spending $40 or whatever, $60, however much. And just kick back and ride in comfort. Because I've been on that train before. The New Jersey something express train. I've been on that train before. Going from EWR to Manhattan. Going from EWR to Manhattan. And it's fun. And when you go, you know, you set your trip up to go and you plan this, plan that, and you see it on the computer and quote unquote on paper. Then when you go out and execute it, you're like, oh, I've been here before. Oh, I know what this is. This looks familiar. Oh, I got a Clipper card. I don't, you know, and this looks familiar. Like, oh, I've been here before. It's a cool feeling. It's a really cool feeling. Really, really cool feeling. Walking in the, I think, not Penn Station, one in your hand. One of those, the ones across from Madison Square Garden. To walk up the stairs, see the Empire State Building right there. And you say, oh, I remember all of this. You feel accomplished. You feel accomplished and experiencing. A lot of that is a part of who I am too. I walk in the room, when I walk in the room, I walk in with that too. I walk in with, I've been to Moscow, damn it. Say anything you want to me. The answer could be, I've been to Moscow. That just tops everything. That tops everything. Not Paris, not the Great Wall of China. Well, I'm piling on now. Not Paris, not the Great Wall of China. Egypt. Jesus Christ. My patio had a dead-on view of the Sphinx when I stayed in Egypt. I stayed in Gaza. Don't do that. stay in Cairo. You stay in Gaza, you're trapped to the hotel. Too much going on outside. And not criminal, just tourists. I mean, people begging and peddling. It's just so aggressive, so many of them, my God. You can't walk 2 feet. You know, what about this? What about this? It was overwhelming. Felt trapped even. And so the concierge hotel, the guy, really nice dude, set it up. He came in. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get you somebody, take you in. I was like, take me into Cairo. And I walked around someplace, it was a park. It was just a park. I just walked around the park and by myself. The driver was like, I'll come with you. I was like, no. Driver was like, I'll come with you. I was like, no. We will meet someplace at a certain time. And I was like, no, I'm going by myself. You are not coming with me at all. Nope, 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 nope. That was fun. He didn't speak English that much either. And I was, when I went to Egypt, which I consider Africa, which I consider having been to that continent. It's the only continents I haven't been to now are Antarctica and South America. South America one I ain't too worried about. That one I better knock out. Antarctica might cost me $30,000. Something like that. Haven't seen the Northern Lights either. Want to see that. And then the only other one is go to space. That'll be all of them right there. If I go to space. Antarctica, South America, and the Northern Lights. So I think about retiring. I'm still doing what I want to do. I'm still pretty much going to accomplish. A lot of people say, oh, when I retire, I'm going to do this. When I retire, I'm doing that. I'm doing this and that now while I'm working. You know, I can't say I love my job, I just don't like it. No, I love my job. I probably don't like it. And I probably just don't feel like doing it anymore. Probably don't feel like any job. But what I'm going to do, doing nothing. I'm definitely scared of that. Just spend up my money and fly all over the place. Get Airbnbs all over the country. Paying rent. To have a place that I'm not at most of the time because I'm traveling out of boredom. Not boredom, but you know, traveling is a distraction. And like I said, if I was retired to Pittsburgh, it would cut that rentals down from $1,900. I'm thinking I can get it for $900. I'm figuring I can get a place for $900. You know, I want something a little bit nice. I've grown accustomed to nicer, renovated, updated stuff. And I ain't trying to live in the hood. And I do want some separation, some economic separation between me and the classes below me. Because if I pay $1,500, if it costs $1,500 a month to live in my apartment building, here, that's cheap. In Youngstown, that's definitely high. That's gonna, you know, put a class distinction. You know, some people just ain't gonna pay that. That's too much. You know, you can rent a house for $600. You end up paying $1,500 for an apartment. class distinction, whatever you want to call it. So we'll see how long, but like I said, even when I get these 2 days off, I'll be complaining about having 2 days off. It's too much. And then I'm thinking about retiring, having all days off. But again, I was thinking maybe it's because those 2 days off, I don't do nothing. I'm all whooped because of the job I work 5 days. Like recovering from working and, walking, all that. But when I was on disability leave, hey. When I was on disability leave, I was the same, but I was still recovering. When I was on disability leave, I was recovering. So I was healing. So I didn't really do none of that too people. I did something, I take that back. I did a lot of traveling and stuff. Hey, what's up? Good morning. Yeah, I did a lot of stuff there. I traveled, P-Funk concerts, went to Ohio, had to do administrative work to, make this whole thing work. And, I kept, I did stuff. May not have felt like it, but I did. I got it in. And it was good to come back rejuvenated. I feel a lot better about life, about work now. It's just coming down to, do I want to do it? How long do I want to do this? And how much working on Jeffery TV stuff, building a legacy, et cetera, developing my philosophy and ideas about life. How much is that gonna fill my time, or am I gonna be, I'm gonna fly to New Orleans. Because I was thinking too, in Pittsburgh, they had a flight to New York for like $60. And it's only an hour. I could fly to New York, have lunch, and then come back. The hell? Fly to New York for a couple of days and fly back to Pittsburgh. They had a flight for like $60, $70 one way. I'm just saying. The drive is like 7 or 8 hours. That would be fun, but no. That would be fun, but no, that's a little, Now DC, the drive. I was looking at the drive to DC. One of the toll roads, one of the tolls you take, it was like a $25 toll. I'm like, what the hell? That's why they got that avoid tolls in Google Maps. Like $25. Man, I don't think you saved that much time. So, that whole thing coming around. Either way I'm looking at it, and I'm saying all that now, and I'm overlooking hopefully in the short term, how wonderful life is now. Where I'm at, where I'm living, California, the job. It's not terrible. I mean, I'm still in LA, let's not forget, though I'm planning for my retirement and doing this and doing that, my life is still wonderful. Oop, my bad. My life is still wonderful, you know? I really enjoy and happy about what I do and where I'm at and who I am. So, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Not a bad thing to be. Very not a bad place to be in or a situation to be in. Very not. Not at all. It's like I said, I'm still doing everything that I want to do, even though I'm working. You know, it's not stopping me from being here, being there, doing that, doing this. In fact, it's enabling me, a lot of it, the money I'm making. Let alone the money I'm making. Yeah. Yeah. That and, you know, the money's there. It's not a money problem. It's definitely not a money problem. The quote unquote problem or the fun or the solution or the exercise is to maximize the money. To maximize it. Working it out so that you get the most out of the money. You want to fully get every ounce and utilize it. Don't leave nothing on the table. And to fully exploit everything that's open to you. Don't leave, full advantage. Take full advantage of what's out there. And I like that, strategizing and planning and, getting it together. I like doing that, so. Anyway, I ain't gonna look and see how much time. I'm gonna stop looking at the time. I'm just gonna go until I don't wanna go no more. Yeah, but the idea of retiring to Pittsburgh hit me. I was like, ooh. And this is throwing away my apprehension about being back there for a winter. At first a couple of times I went back in the wintertime, and I may or may not have been prepared. I may or may not have been dressed correctly. I may have been trying to dressed like the people who live there and used to it, and not really bundling up, going with the heavy stuff. So one time I can remember being back there. I was so cold, even in the house, I was miserable. I had to take a hot bath. A couple of times I got back there, I had to take a hot bath. The only thing that got me warm me up. It was painful. I vowed I would never come back here in the wintertime again. But I think now with proper dress and clothing, if I gotta wear long johns, if I gotta wear so many clothes outside, then when I get to people's houses, I gotta strip down. Because people be having their houses hot. People be walking around in shorts and t-shirts. It'd be 0 degrees outside. It'd be 90 on the inside. And if you come in with all those clothes on and you ain't used to it, woo, start sweating, get overheated, and all of that. But it's fun. And that's it. Like I said, the idea of retiring to Pittsburgh got me excited. I love the Steelers. I have an opportunity to go to the games. May even consider a season ticket. But I guess they're limited in their availability, and I gotta sit a certain place. I just can't be sitting. Because people be having them and don't go to the games. I guess they were handed down or whatever. They sell them, get the money, or don't go to the games. I guess selling them would be an option, but it would be tough. I love it. I guess after you do it for so many years and this and that, you get used to it. I'm saying that now from somebody who, coming into the experience still excited. Like when I had my convertible, those first few years, had the roof off, and then after so many years, you're like, yeah, I just watch the game on TV. I don't feel like going down there paying ticket, this, that. I just sit there and watch it on TV in my house. But we'll see. We'll see. Because Youngstown isn't big enough. Youngstown isn't big enough. There's not enough going on. Not enough energy. I don't see enough people when I'm in Youngstown. Literally, I don't see enough people. Even though, I keep my distance from people or whatever. Or I have, been known to have negative things to say about the people, the population, And like I said, I keep my distance. I still need to see them. I still need to see them. Gives me energy in life, seeing other people. Whether I judge them or they irritate me or, whatever. Appreciate them. Creatures of beauty and intellect and just brilliance and things they say and do, and diversity of thought and diversity of action and diversity of understanding. Not too much of that in Youngstown. Not too much of that in Youngstown. And it's probably even less, it's definitely less in Pittsburgh than it is in Los Angeles, out here in California. There's no doubt about that. But the drop off, I'm hoping, from LA to Pittsburgh isn't as drastic as LA to Youngstown. Youngstown is, it's just basic. Basic people, basic understanding. The deeper philosophical ideas and thoughts, you don't get there too much. I don't get there that much. And I love that stuff. It's just basic, it's this or that. Execution, get it done. Steel mill workers, hard people, hard drinking, hard religion, hard football, just tougher people. Less intellectual for sure. As I say, Pittsburgh was like that. Pittsburgh, the culture of Pittsburgh is like that, and not so much sophisticated as things are nowadays in the NFL. And Pittsburgh's got left behind in the 70s. And Tomlin, Tomlin seems to be the poster child for that mentality. He's definitely been accused of it by not just me. So, you know. Or you might not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking at the hour. It's been an hour. This lady riding, she always used to ride with her like mouth open, with her teeth out, like the wind's blowing in her face. Let me see if she's doing it now. Yep. You know, like when we're in face, you kind of do your teeth. She always ride like that. And her mouth open. Something gonna fly in your mouth, lady. All right. Swinging on y'all 2 times. For me, for the funk. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom, in this or any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, a theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.